Netizens have challenged Prime Minister Lawrence Wong's remarks at the PAP's Biennial Party Conference, where he asserted that the PAP government is doing its best to shield citizens from the worst effects of global inflation. PM Wong also accused opposition parties of exploiting cost of living concerns to turn public sentiments against the ruling party. Many criticized the government for implementing policies, including goods and services tax hike, they believe have exacerbated inflationary pressures, reflecting growing frustration and skepticism towards the government's narrative. Some netizens highlighted the importance of having opposition parties in parliament to challenge PAP policies to hold the government accountable. During the conference on 24 November, Lawrence Wong, who is poised to become PAP's Secretary General, addressed Singapore's cost of living concerns.
I know that Singaporeans are concerned about the cost of living. It's not unique to us in Singapore. Countries everywhere face similar pressures because of the recent spike in global inflation. Over the recent months, inflation in many of these places, including Singapore, has moderated, but price levels remain higher than before, and this impacts on people's sense of well-being. So you just take a look at the outcomes of elections held this year across many countries. Frustration with rising cost of living overshadowed other matters and contributed to a very strong sense of anti-incumbency feeling, meaning whoever is the incumbent in power, there is a strong feeling against that incumbent party. And so every governing party in a developed country that held elections this year has lost vote share. Quite a number have lost the mandate to govern altogether. We feel the pressure in Singapore too. Opposition parties have tried to exploit this issue to turn sentiments against the PAP, even though they themselves do not have good solutions. We hope Singaporeans understand that these are global inflation trends. They impact all countries. But here in Singapore, the government is doing its best to shield you, to shield all of us from the worst effects of inflation. We've rolled out major packages over the last few years to support Singaporeans, and there is more help on the way. Next month, in December, there will be some measures from the assurance package, and in January, another tranche of CDC vouchers coming up. I am now preparing for Budget 2025. Because I'm still the finance minister, remember. I will see how we can continue to provide additional support in the budget. These are national schemes, national programs, but on top of them, each of our branches in our constituencies, all of you, have been busy rolling out your own local schemes and programs. So as a government and as a party, we are doing all that we can. And we can truly say that hand on heart, we are doing all that we can to help Singaporeans cope with higher cost of living.
Despite these assurances, comments on social media platforms like the Straits Times' Facebook page, Reddit, and Hardware Zone reflect widespread discontent. Many netizens pointed to PAP policies such as GST increases, COE costs, and rising utility rates as contributing factors to the current inflationary pressures, questioning the government's accountability and priorities. The GST was raised by 1% from 7% to 8% on January 1, 2023, and by another 1% to 9% in 2024. A comment criticized the PAP government for implementing inflationary policies that have led to higher living costs, including increased GST taxes and housing costs. The netizen also highlighted additional financial burdens like the recovery of electricity buffer reserves and rising insurance premiums, which exacerbate the situation. The netizen argued that Singaporeans are paying high costs similar to Europeans, but without the benefits of free healthcare, education, or social security, calling the government's stance disingenuous. Some expressed frustration that the 8% GST is already burdensome for the public, with the opposition's suggestion to delay the 9% increase being dismissed outright. Others criticized the ruling party for attempting to shift the blame to the opposition as the election approaches, suggesting that the government is deflecting responsibility for its own policies. A comment on Hardware Zone pointed out that while opposition MPs voted against the GST increase in Parliament, no PAP MPs opposed it. The comment argued that, as a result, the party's decision has created an unfavorable situation for Singaporeans, leading to additional costs on their purchases. A Redditor argued that the CDC vouchers, along with the GST, disproportionately affect lower-income individuals. The comment noted that while the GST taxes those who earn a living through labor, the CDC vouchers, in the Redditor's view, could actually contribute to inflation. Additionally, the lack of a capital gains tax was highlighted, questioning who truly benefits from these policies. A Facebook user argued that internal policies, such as high taxes on basic necessities like water, electricity, petrol, GST, and COE, are major contributors to inflation in Singapore, and suggesting that global inflation should not be used as a scapegoat for the rising costs. Another comment reminded that having opposition parties in Parliament is crucial to challenge government policies, ensuring accountability and preventing complacency.